Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Val Febo, your host of The Short Lunch, the program where every day we talk for 10 minutes about certain topics, whether they be sport, news, even the weather. We usually let listeners choose the topics, but today I've chosen it. Turning 21 in Australia. Do Australians really care? Personally, I don't believe so. I see 18 as more of a milestone. We can drive, we can consume alcohol, we can go into a casino, and we also get the right to vote when we turn 18 in Australia. In America, it's a different story. You get all those privileges at the age, I think you can drive at 16, but the rest of them you get at 21. And I think it's a very Americanized notion of turning 21. But in Australia, I don't really see it as anything but a number, really. I see it as more so an excuse to have a large party. We've got a couple of interviews lined up today as well. Matthew Cullen, a 23-year-old uni student, and Joe Sarmiento, a 20-year-old 2IC at Foot Locker. And I'm gonna ask them about what they thought or think about turning 21. Let's get stuck into it. During my quest to find out what Australians thought, I took to Facebook and Twitter to see what Australians really thought about turning 21. The results didn't really surprise me, with 72% basically saying that they only cared about the party and thought 21 was just a number. Also had 11% say they were excited about the pay rise, another 11% saying that, they had to be mature, really. They saw it as the age where they thought they might have to grow up a little bit. And 6% said it was the best time of their lives, turning 21. So it's interesting, but yeah, the results really didn't surprise me at all there. Anyways, let's get stuck into our first interview of the afternoon with Joe Sarmiento, 20 years old, 2IC at a Foot Locker store in Melbourne, and he turns 21 next week. Welcome, Joe, to the show. So you're turning 21 next week. That's pretty exciting. What's your opinion on turning 21?
Honestly, for me, it doesn't really mean much. I'm excited to turn 21 as it's I see it as a more maturing age, but not too excited. But it's okay.
So, what do you think turning 21 will hold for yourself?
For myself, well, I guess it's just a little kick in the back, just saying, you're pretty much hit adulthood now, and you just gotta put your life into gear and start taking more responsibility. That's how I see things.
So you sort of see it as basically a marker of adulthood, sort of?
Yeah, pretty much the start of it, or in my opinion anyway.
Okay. So what are you more excited about, or what have you been more excited about, turning 18 or 21?
For me, it'd be 18, just pretty much the Australian legal age. But it'd be a different story if we were in America, but we're not. So with 18, I could, start driving, start drinking, going out and all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely 18 years of age was more exciting than 21.
So what do you see 21 as in life? So do you see it as sort of a number, or do you, as you said, sort of the marker of adulthood, but do you see it as anything else?
Not really. It's just another age, another year. You're growing, so that's all I think about it, and as a number.
And last of all, what have you got planned for your 21st?
Well, this coming weekend, I've got a pretty good party set up, and I've invited some friends over. Hopefully we're going to have a good night, and hopefully they enjoy themselves, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
During my study for the topic, I looked at the Australian Bureau of Statistics project on persons not in the labour force from 2013. And the age bracket of 20 to 24 had the second lowest percentage of people not in the labour force, which I found fantastic, meaning basically that, people when they hit that age sort of want to get their life into gear. And that could also, take away from my argument that Australians don't really care, because as you can see, a lot of people are getting jobs around that age and starting to, earn a living for themselves. There was about 22% of people aged from 20 to 24 not in the labour force. That was only eclipsed by the 45 to 54 age bracket, where there was 20% not in the labour force. I found it a really interesting statistic, and I think that, people may be maturing at that age. That sort of, as it sways your argument a little bit, but personally, I still feel as though they get it because they get the jobs because they want money. It was another little notion that I thought of, but still, it swayed me a little bit, but it's not enough to convince me. Our second interview for the show is Matthew Cullen. He's 23 and is a student. So, Matthew, thanks for joining us on the show.
You're welcome.
No worries. Okay, let's get this started. So, when you turned 21, what were your expectations?
My expectations? I don't really have any expectations. I don't know. I knew that anything and everything I do would be held accountable to me. So I guess I was more wary of my actions and...
So just a bit
whatever.
more responsibility?
Yeah, pretty
You didn't
much.
see it as a mark of adulthood or anything like that?
Not really. Not like an initiation into anything. Just another year.
So, did you care? Were you excited?
Yeah, no, not really.
Yeah.
It's just, another birthday, really.
Yeah. So, what was more exciting, turning 18 or 21, and
18.
why?
18 because, when you turn 18, you're legally allowed.
Yeah.
You're legally allowed to,
Yeah.
go out, drink, whatever.
Yeah.
And that sort of marks the
Yeah.
age in, adulthood or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, it's just a younger version of 21, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, has your life changed since you turned 21? Has there been much or...
I don't feel like I've turned 21 or anything, but I still like to think I'm 18, but has it changed? No, like I was saying earlier, I just feel like I've just got more responsibility.
Yeah.
I have to look after myself.
Yeah.
Can't rely on anyone else.
Yeah, well, we had the same... Me and Joe were having the same conversation before, and he said the exact same things
Yeah.
as you, and that's basically what my verdict of turning 21 in Australia is, that Australians don't really
No.
care too much about
mean,
it. Like, they sort of do, but not too...
I mean, there's a sort of thing around turning 21. It's like this
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah.
But for me, no, not really. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. Thanks for that, Matthew. Hope everything goes well with uni and everything like that.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
No worries.
I also looked at the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence study, Turning 21, Life Chances and Uncertain Transitions. This basically followed 123 21-year-olds from 1990 to 2011 to see how they had transitioned into adulthood. And I found some really interesting statistics from this. I found that the children with fewer resources, so the lower income children, faced more challenges during their childhood. So this means that they had to mature more quickly to sort of find their feet and get a grip in life in order to have an easier transition into adulthood. I found, and the people or the children with higher income or involved in higher income families didn't really mature as quickly. They still, found time to be a kid and things like that. I did find that most of the 21-year-olds continue to rely on their families for advice instead of going to other people, as they still see themselves as quite young. I also found that 80% of the 21-year-olds in 2011 at the end of the study earned some sort of a wage, whether it be Centrelink, whether it be a part-time job or things like that. And most of them did receive still a little bit of money from their parents. I also found that half of the children value their education quite highly, as 50% of 123 were at university or TAFE in 2011. It was quite depressing to see that some of them did develop mental issues, which resulted in them, being cared for and things like that, which was quite sad to be reading, and that took that statistic down, so they were unable to have an education in a proper facility, which was quite sad to look at. But most of all, it seems as though with this, a lot of the people in this study seem to have valued the age of 21 quite highly, which I did not expect, to be honest. I didn't think that they would. So it swayed my argument a little bit to see how people have value 21 along with the Australian Bureau of Statistics study. But still, personally, even though I've seen all this evidence, I still think the majority of Australians don't see 21 as a significant age. They only see it mostly as an excuse to have a party, really. And that's my view on the topic. You're allowed to have your own, but I'll see you all again tomorrow. That's the end of the show today. I'm Val Febo. Have a good day.